Please help me understand the relevance of TA. It seems to be based on the past, not current circumstances. The war, Genius Act, lawsuit, Trump, etc. It appears apples are being compared to oranges. Markets happen in cycles, period. Things often rhyme. And as long as constraints remain consistent, you should have similar, if not pretty closely repeating cycles over time. So, to your point, constraints are changing in comparison to what they've been in the past. I would argue ETFs are another catalyst or constraint that you didn't mention there that are significant. We saw Bitcoin at an all time high prior to the halving because of the ETFs in this last cycle. Never happened before. So it's broken the pattern. You also didn't have the rotation in the altcoins for an alt season like we have in previous cycles because the majority of the liquidity that moved into Bitcoin was through the ETFs and not on exchanges. So, I think that's probably the biggest constraint difference. And again, regulation, like you brought up, stablecoin issuance and adoption. The lawsuit, you could argue that did impact XRP's price. There was definitely volatility caused by the lawsuit when it was issued, and then price did remain, very low for an extended period of time on XRP while the lawsuit was ongoing. And I would argue that the coin season that we saw in 21 was definitely truncated in comparison to what it could have been had that pressure not been there. So all those things, I do think TA matters, but I think it's just another data point. It's not the end all be all. It's a point that I look at on a regular basis. Again, I'm not that guy. That's not my lane, but I do watch Blockchain Backer and a few other people. I would agree with you. Apples and oranges, I do think this time's different, but at the same time, I do think there is relevance for previous cycles and what's happening today until constraints absolutely decouple and change.